Stand up for right and be a light. It's Rhyme and Reason 639.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why.
Hey there, Tony here. I want you to kind of sit back, close your eyes, let your imagination go. Think back to the days of the gladiators and imagine that you're a gladiator. And imagine if you had to go out and fight for your king. But then imagine if you had to do it with an invisible suit of armor. Yeah, sure, it'd be much lighter. So it'd be a lot easier to stand up than if you wore that heavy metal armor stuff that they had to wear back then, right? But do you think you'd feel powerful and safe with something that was invisible? I bet you'd be more likely to feel vulnerable, wouldn't you? Don't you think so? But what if your king promised that you'd win the war and you'd get a mansion for your efforts? Yeah, now it's starting to sound better, isn't it? But invisible armor? I mean, how's that going to work? You know, the other guys aren't wearing their invisible armor. They got that heavy metal stuff on, and you're coming up against them with invisible stuff. Yeah. Now, is this a case of the king who had no clothes on? No, it's not a case of that. You know that. Not a king case of that. Well, you and I, thankfully, we don't have to stand up in those gladiator days with our armor and try to, hold it all up without falling down because it was so heavy and you had to be powerful and all that. But if you're a Christian, then you're expected to get up every day and put on your invisible armor. Yeah. General Paul, you might know some of his writings from what's that book? Oh, gosh. What is it? It's usually most people's houses are a real dusty one. Almost everybody has one of these. Paul, he wrote in, the Bible. He issued an order. It was a book called the Bible. Anyway, it's from way back when, but he issued this order, and you might recall, it went something like this. He said, you should stand having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, and having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you will be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And that is your invisible armor. Okay, so what do you think about the invisible armor now? Does it make you feel less vulnerable? Do you feel less vulnerable if you know that it's made of eternal material? The kind of stuff that's not going to rust, all that heavy metal stuff that they wore in the gladiator days. You'd be hard-pressed to find much of that anymore. But this eternal, invisible armor, it's never going to go away. Yeah, so that should give you a little bit better perspective. And when you're wearing that, you should be able to go out there into the world that is increasingly against you as a Christian, but go out there with confidence and take a stand.
If you take a stand and you stand for the way, you might never be rich. But no gold here beats the treasure in heaven, and you'll know which is which. Angels are gonna rejoice, and we're gonna get to see how the Lord will judge the ones who wait. So better take a stand right now. Yeah, you better take a stand right now. If you take a stand and you stand for the truth, you could lose a good friend. But if you lose the whole wide world and keep your soul, you win in the end. All eyes are gonna look up, all knees are gonna bow. And when that time comes, it's too late. You gotta take a stand right now. Yeah, you gotta take a stand right now. stand right now. If you take a stand and you stand for life, people might laugh and make fun. And Jesus didn't say it was gonna be easy, but you'll be with him when this life is done. No more living like this by the sweat of your brow. And if you want God's paradise, you better take a stand right now. Take a stand right now. Take a stand right now. Yeah, you better take a stand right now.
That's right. You better take a stand right now because, now is the time it is. There is no future. You don't live in the future. I shouldn't say there is no future. There is no future that you're living in, okay? You got to wrap your mind around that. So you take a stand now because now is what you are living in. Tomorrow is a concept, but when it gets here, when you're actually living in it, it's not tomorrow anymore. I know I'm getting philosophical, but remember, when you wear the armor and when you shine your light, you could lose friends. Like the song said, you could lose a good friend. And people who tend to condemn judgmental people will start judging you. And lots of other people might actually laugh at you. And they'll probably look for opportunities to mock you and ridicule you in public. I mean, that happens to any politician who would dare to say that he believes in Jesus and trusts the Lord for wisdom. And that's getting to be very few and far between. But, the ones who do, they're going to be put up there in the hot seat and made fun of. But if and when that does happen, if that's happening to you or it does happen, then you just know you're on the right track. So my recommendation is to bravely put on your invisible armor and take a stand. And when you stand for the Lord, for the way, the truth, and the life, you are standing on the side that wins forever, and you will live forever. So there's that. That should be motivation. It is for me. Thank you so much for tuning in right here to the Rhyme and Reason Radio Hour. Oh, no, it's the Rhyme and Reason Podcast. Whatever. It's Rhyme and Reason right here brought to you by, not at, well, it's at too. Boy, I'm just getting all over myself here. Anyway, you can go to TonyFunderburk.com. And while you're there, you might as well click on that merch tab. That's where I sell merch for Christians, especially who take a stand and who boldly are willing to wear that and show people that they are that. Right there, you can get that T-shirt that says, "Life has rhyme and reason because God made you."
There's a rhyme and reason for you.